Well, hey everybody, Andy Kvernen here with another Cornerstone Connection Daily Devotional. One of the questions that we often ask as we process our relationship with God is this. We ask why. Why is this happening? And we search hard and we think hard about why different things happen to us. And we could ask why about any number of situations, whether they're personal situations that are affecting us at a deep level or whether they're affecting our nation, our world. We ask the question why a lot. And certainly this is not a new question. In fact, I think people have been asking that question ever since there's been suffering, since the Garden of Eden, really. And no doubt the people of Israel, as they experienced suffering in exile, were asking the question, why? And as the prophet Ezekiel comes on the scene, we've talked about him before in the daily devotional, Ezekiel is bringing a message of judgment to the nation to say, look, here is why you're experiencing what you're experiencing, because you have rejected God's covenant with you. But here's what God is doing, and here's how you can trust Him for your present and for your future. And one of the themes as I've been reading through the book of Ezekiel that comes through over and over, and I've tried to underline it every time I see it in the book, is God says to the people through the prophet this phrase, that you may know that I am the Lord. That you may know that I am the Lord. And one of the answers, and probably the most important answer to why, is that very phrase, that we may know that God is the Lord, that He is sovereign over all things, that He is working out His plan of salvation in real time among us. And certainly sometimes we want to know, well, okay, God allowed this to happen so that I could learn this lesson so that the next time it comes I could be prepared. Sometimes God works like that. But more so, God works that we might know Him better, that we might trust Him more, even in the midst of challenging circumstances. And I love what Ezekiel says to the people for God here in Ezekiel chapter 20. I want you to hear this. He says, "And you shall know that I am the Lord." Okay, this is God's purpose. This is God's answer to the why question. "And you shall know that I am the Lord." Here's when you'll really know it. He says, "when I deal with you for my name's sake." God is always working out all things for His name's sake, for His glory and His purposes. "Not according to your evil ways," He says to the people, "not according to your corrupt deeds, O house of Israel, declares the Lord God." Aren't you glad that God doesn't work in response only to our evil, to our unjust deeds? I'm so grateful that God is at work for His name's sake, that we may know that He is the Lord. And friends, that is an act of grace on God's part. We deserve alienation from God. We deserve hardship and trial. But God, in His grace, acts for His glory and for our benefit, that we may know that He is the Lord. And I'm so grateful that He does that. Friends, today you might be asking why about any number of situations. My prayer for you is that you too, like the Israelites, would know that God is the Lord and you can trust Him today.